What's up, everyone? We are here going to talk about the new concept and the new announcement recently that Universal Studios and Comcast made for their new theme park. And no, it is not Epic Universe, surprisingly, which opens in a couple of weeks this May. And Universal's already announcing a new theme park that is going to open in Great Britain. And this is going to be set to open in 3031. And we're going to go over some of the speculation, what everybody online is speculating. And we're also going to discuss some news with trademark names that Universal is supposedly is securing so that they can probably have these certain IPs at this park. All right, so just zooming in, and I got a really high res picture of this park here, of this concept here, so we can really get to the gist of it. We can start right here by the entrance, and what we're looking at, we're going to go through all the sections of this map and see what it is that possibly is illustrated here in terms of franchises, movie franchises, Universal IPs, and what correlates with some of the announcements and leaks of trademarks. So first of all, it is speculated that Universal has already trademarked some names with Jurassic World Rebirth, the new movie coming out, Back to the Future, and also even Lord of the Rings. But besides those supposed leaks with the trademarks, there is also in the concept art here, some of the stuff doesn't exactly fit with what those trademark leaks are saying. So we're going to try and make some sense of it as we look at this concept art here. Now we start right here at the front of the park with the iconic globe that they want to give to the UK Great Britain park here. This already is really iconic and cool, and it is nice that they are thinking of giving this to a Great Britain Universal Park with the classic archways here, Universal Arch here at the entrance. So that is pretty cool. It looks like it has some kind of Hollywood Boulevard type of theming here. You got a theater here probably. Not sure if this is connected here or if it's more over here towards this area, but it looks like there might be some kind of attraction here, a screening attraction of some kind of show. And over here, this looks like it's going to be a Universal Resort Hotel. You got resort parking here, and you got this. It just makes sense. This looks like a resort hotel. This is the drop off here for guests, the valet parking, and that sort of thing. And just having the resort hotel right there near the park entrance, that's really a great perk as well for people staying there. So that's a really, and then over here we have this building here. This could also be a show building or part of the hotel. A show building for an attraction. It could possibly just be for the hotel. There is no like pool area illustrated here. Maybe there's gonna be an indoor pool. We'll see. So if we go up here, the whole park is basically surrounding this big old lake right here. Maybe there's going to be like fountain shows. Probably they could do something like they do at Epcot at Disney World. They could have fireworks in the middle. That would be really cool. They could set off fireworks. They can have something here, a fountain with fireworks, maybe even a drone show. So there's definitely probably plans here for something with this illustration, probably showing something that they want to do here in terms of like showcase. Now, the one that makes a lot of sense that people are kind of guessing in a good way, and it does make sense, is that this looks like it could be Minions Land. And they have Super Silly Funland. Correct me if I'm wrong if I said that wrong, but it's Super Silly Funland here. And you got this, looks like a family coaster here. Not that big compared to what we're going to see in the rest of the park. And we got shops and everything like that. We got what looks like an attraction show building here, where maybe they could have the Minions ride there, that one that's in Orlando and Hollywood, the 4D ride, or something else, something different. But this definitely looks a lot more like it could be Minions. It makes sense. Now we go back down here. Some people are saying this is going to be Jaws, like a Jaws attraction or area, an Amity Island type of area. If you look right here, it does have some of that kind of harbor type of feeling and look. So they could be. That's very vague in terms of like the artwork right there when we zoom in. but it could be a shark, maybe a photo op with Bruce the shark. And then over here, some people were saying that maybe this building here is connected to this right here, or otherwise it's part of this boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard thing here, with maybe having a theater or a show. If we go over here now, this one is having a lot of discussion in this area. They're saying that this could be Shrek, but also with the trademark leaks, Lord of the Rings, they're saying this can be Lord of the Rings. But if you look at the foot map of what this is taking place in comparison to other areas that look like they're gonna have a bigger footprint, this looks too small for Lord of the Rings, and it doesn't have anything too fantastical looking in terms of just some show buildings and some facades there. And it looks like this might be the main attraction back here. So this looks a lot more like Shrek. They're saying that this structure here is reminiscent of a like a cottage or building or bar or something from the second movie, Shrek's second movie. So that is probably leaning more towards Shrek, and in terms of like the swamp area could be down here, or this could be like a dark ride for Shrek. I'm leaning more towards that it's going to be Shrek. I don't think that could be Lord of the Rings. I think Lord of the Rings deserves much more space and much more like attention on this map, which it doesn't seem like there's any Lord of the Rings here if you really look at it from far away. And for them to just kind of, unless there's some expansion pads, expansion area that we don't see, that they're planning on expanding and maybe first only opening a certain location from the movie and then a second location as an expansion years later, that could be a possibility. But it would be maybe possibly a little underwhelming if it's a smaller location from the movies and it's only one dark ride here. It would have to be a heck of an epic dark ride, taking you to different parts of the story from the movies and the books and locations for it to really make it worth it. So or the outside could be like set as a museum, like an outdoor, indoor museum. This could be like a museum here, maybe a restaurant or something like that, aka museum, and it has some theming out here, Lord of the Rings. And once you go on the ride, you're really taken to this great adventure that takes place all over Middle Earth and many locations. Goes throughout the whole story of what's it called, Frodo and the what's called the Fellowship. So they could do that too. They could just kind of keep it a little low key in the land itself, and then the actual attraction is what blows everybody's minds away. But I don't feel like that would do it justice. You have to build a land about the size of what we saw with Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Even though that was a disappointment for many, you could do Lord of the Rings deserves a much bigger footprint. Now over here, everybody saw this, and then you right away, it's Waterworld. I'm a big fan of Waterworld here at Hollywood. Waterworld is a big popular attraction in other Asian Universal parks, so it makes sense for them to bring Waterworld and give it their own spin here. But also there are rumors that James Bond could be coming to this park, and this would also be a perfect spot to have a James Bond attraction. Maybe this was just a placeholder for them because they don't know yet what a James Bond attraction building or facade or whatever or sets would look like. So they just plaster the Waterworld attraction there to show that this park will have a stunt show. So them having this here tells us that Universal Great Britain will have a stunt show, and that in my opinion is a big plus. But will it be Waterworld or James Bond? If it's Waterworld, that's awesome. Waterworld's a great show, great stunts, and it could be just a home run hit, especially if they give it their own spin and that sort of thing over there. But a James Bond would also be awesome. And if they even said a James Bond attraction in a water type of setting, that would also be cool. There's plenty of that in the movies. But this is definitely just a confirmation that there is going to be a stunt show. So that is good. Now, if we go over here, a lot of people are saying that this could be a wicked roller coaster, and everybody's going crazy over that movie, over that franchise. And I have not seen the movie, I have not seen the play. I'm a big fan of Wizard of Oz, the original movie, and I think that if you really look close, this doesn't look like an Emerald City type of thing here. It really doesn't look like Emerald City. It doesn't have any structures that look like Emerald City. They did make it green. They did emphasize that this coaster is green here. So there's a possibility this could be a Wicked coaster, but what would be the story and the theme? And would a Wicked coaster, would a roller coaster be the proper attraction or theme for a Wicked ride? I feel like it would probably be better suited as a dark ride for Wicked, but uh, we saw what Disney had back in the day at Hollywood Studios Orlando with the great movie ride and those sets with the Wizard of Oz. They could do something like that. It'd be Universal's way of bringing that type of attraction back and showing Disney, hey, we can do it better. So this could be a Wicked coaster in the end, but I don't think that the concept part is depicting that too much, besides giving maybe a possible clue that it's green. But the area surrounding area has nothing that looks like Emerald City. In fact, if you look right here, these buildings look like something similar where we're going to move next. And this area, if you look at it, looks like a Jurassic Park, Jurassic World area. And it bleeds all the way close to that coaster. And if we look down here, that looks like some kind of rock work area. So maybe this attraction is just tied to either Jurassic World, but maybe it would be a huge area for Jurassic World. It already is, just with this, what was already shown here, because this huge show building looks like it's going to be the Jurassic World Adventure ride that they have in Universal Beijing. And this would be awesome because that ride is amazing in terms of the animatronics and the mechanisms that are moving in that attraction. And it looks like there is a good chance, and there are rumors that this is what they're going to bring to Universal UK, a version of what they have at the Beijing park. So this definitely looks like Jurassic. You even have like a waterfall area here that's very reminiscent of what you see in the movies and that sort of thing in the theming. And you have buildings over here all the way here, kind of thematic to what we see here. So, and if we look close, it almost looks like you can see the Jurassic logo placed on that building there. But it definitely looks a lot more like this is going to be Jurassic. And now we move here, what's getting everybody really excited, and it's also been sort of leaked in this supposed trademark confirmation with the Back to the Future name there going into this park. And this looks like it's going to be a Back to the Future roller coaster, possibly a roller coaster that takes you up to 88 miles per hour on this ride. And then this area here, even though this doesn't look 100% like the Back to the Future movie clock tower, the setup here does look like it's the clock tower area with the town and the clock tower right here in the middle, and you have the park area here. And then this right here, we have like a kind of stadium area here for music. Some people are saying that there could be like a Back to the Future scene recreation with Marty playing what's it called with the band there, like in the movie. And so this is a huge area here, huge show building as well. Looks like the coaster could be going indoors with some theming and all that kind of cool stuff. And I guess the idea would be here that you're trying to get back. It looks like there's some stuff here in terms of like the design where maybe you are going backwards. And it kind of goes with the theming of going back in time and that sort of thing. So this looks really, really awesome and intense. This could be something like maybe that could Intamin, the company that made Velocicoaster and the upcoming Fast and Furious coaster, could be working on for this park. Now over here we have probably the smallest area here, and this is the one where there's a lot of confusion and just speculation on what this could be. Maybe a DreamWorks land. But some people are saying, and I'm not familiar with the franchise, I forget the name, but I'll put the name right here on the screen of what this could be, because there are some details here that call to that franchise, that IP. But this is probably going to be something more for the younger kids, the Minions as well, but this looks like it's going to be geared more towards definitely the younger ones, which is good. There's a balance of thrill rides, dark rides, scary dark rides, stunt shows, and then you have the stuff for the younger audience and all families. So it looks like a very good balanced park. I can't wait for more announcements. If Back to the Future is really back at a Universal Park in terms of attractions and theming, that's going to be awesome. Hopefully it does give us some room for the Orlando and Hollywood parks to have Back to the Future return to these parks in terms of some kind of scale, in terms of maybe theming, more theming and more and newer attractions, or bringing back the old ones in a better way that would be awesome. So that's gonna do it. That's what I think we're gonna have here. The concept art, it is a pretty good idea. I think there's a good chance that this right here is gonna be Back to the Future, Jurassic World. They're saying, I'm not sure what this is, but I'm gonna probably say it could be Wicked, but this does not look like Emerald City, so this one's still up for grabs. This is gonna be Waterworld or Bond. It's a good chance that could just be Bond because they just needed a placeholder to show that they're gonna have a stunt show. It doesn't mean that it's gonna be Waterworld. Over here, the footprint for this does not look as big enough for a Lord of the Rings attraction. It could be Shrek, but like I said, if they do Lord of the Rings, if they want to do something like kind of like as fast as possible, but without being cheap, they'll have a huge area that's outdoor area, possibly even a museum where they have Lord of the Rings stuff, and then the attraction itself will be the showcase to take you into the world of Lord of the Rings in an epic attraction. And then this is gonna be Minions. Obviously, it looks like this is gonna definitely be Minions. And then other stuff right here could be more geared in the Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard type of esque area here into like classic Universal theming. Like maybe you can have some Jaws there, some ET, a show here that showcases Universal history or something like that, or maybe like a show right here that's kind of like the How to Train Your Dragon show that's coming to Epic Universe, or another stunt show like the Bourne Stuntacular. And then you have the hotel resort and the entrance. So let me know what you think in the comments, if any of this seems like it could happen, if any of this seems legit, or what other IP attractions would you like to see for this park here. All right, that's going to do it for the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. In the meantime, I'll see you guys next time.